I hope we're all doing well. In today's lesson, we are going to learn how to calculate the volume of a triangular prism. We will have been successful today if we can calculate the volume of a triangular prism using the appropriate formula. Okay, so we'll begin with some previous knowledge. Since we're looking at triangular prisms today, we will need to know the formula for calculating the area of a triangle, which is A equals base times height divided by 2. So let's look at what a prism is. So this here is an example of a triangular prism, but we have different types of prisms. So a prism has got to satisfy the following conditions. Its bases or ends are congruent, and congruent means the same shape and size. So for example, in this triangular prism, the triangle at the front is the exact same as the triangle at the back. So we say that the base shape of this prism is a triangle. The next thing it's got to satisfy is its bases or ends are parallel to each other. So those two triangles aren't slightly bent in towards each other, they're not slightly bent out, they could run continuously and never ever meet. And the last thing it's got to satisfy is that all other faces except the two bases are rectangles or parallelograms. So we can see in this triangular prism, we've got the two triangles and we've also got 1, 2, 3 rectangle faces as well. So this is definitely a prism. Some other types of prisms we've got is we've got the square-based prism, which we call a cuboid. We've got the pentagonal-based prism, circular-based prism, which we might call a cylinder, and an irregular shaped prism. We can see that its base shape is made up of two rectangles put together, but it is still a prism. Okay, so calculating the volume of any prism. To calculate the volume of any prism, we multiply the area of its base, whatever that might be, by the height of the prism, okay? So if I know the area of the base of this triangular prism and I know the height, I just multiply those two together. What can be quite confusing is when the prism is sat a different way, some people can't identify the height, they find it quite difficult. So remember, if you've used the two measurements to calculate the area, the height is almost like the depth or the stretch of the prism, okay? So the height could also be upright if the prism is sat this way. So the formula we need to know is volume of a prism is area of base times height. And this doesn't just apply to triangular, it applies to any prism. So let's look at our first example. Calculate the volume of the prism. This time we are given the area of that base triangle on the front. So our volume is nice and easy. We simply take the area of the base shape and multiply it by the height. And I use the capital H for the height of the prism. I can see here that the height is the stretch of the prism. It's 12 centimetres. So my volume is 30 times 12. Very important from last lesson, volume is measured in centimetres cubed. Okay. Next example then, calculate the volume of this prism. Now this time we are not given the area, we need to work it out. So know that my volume formula is area of base times height. So let me calculate the area of this base shape. Now we know the base shape in this case is a triangle. Formula for the triangle is base times height divided by 2. So the base of the triangle, so the shape on the front here is 8. The height of the triangle is 6. And since this is area we're calculating at this point, our unit should be centimetres squared. Popping that back into my original formula, I've got 24 times the height of the prism, which is the stretch, is 5. So my volume is 120 centimetres cubed. Okay, last example. Calculate the volume of this composite 3D shape. So this is made up of two 3D shapes. The one on the bottom is a cuboid. The one on the top is a triangular prism. So let's work out the volume of these separately and add them together. So our first one is a cuboid. If we remember back to last lesson, the volume of a cuboid is L times B times H. Again, this is the area of base times height. The base shape of a cuboid is a square or a rectangle. So let me treat this 2D shape on the front like it's base shape. So if I bring that 11 forward, I've got 15 times 11 times the stretch of that cuboid, which is 8, which gives me 1,320 centimetres cubed. Shape 2 is our triangular prism. So we've got V equals area of base times height. So let's work out the area of our base first. B times H divided by 2. So the base of this triangle here, we can pull from down here, 15. The height, remember, we only want the height of this triangular prism. So 20 is the full way down. We can see over here that 11 stretches from here to here. So if I do 20 take away 11, that is going to give me the measurement that's left over, which is 9. So it's 9, just the height of the triangle. So substituting that back in. The height of the prism, remember the stretch of the prism is the same as the cuboid, it is 8. Okay, so I've got my volume of my cuboid, volume of my triangular prism. Now to get my total volume, all I need to do is add these together. That's us finished. Okay guys, I will be setting work on Teams as usual, so please make sure you're logging on every day to see what work you have been set. If you have any questions, ask on Teams. I'll help you, one of our teammates will help you, so make sure you are asking for help and not sitting not knowing what to do. Okay guys, thanks, see you tomorrow.